students, how are you? Hope this video will find you healthy and prosperous. This is Samreen Hashmi, and the topic which we are going to discuss today is transport of water and dissolved material in plants. As we know that the roots are responsible for the absorption of water and dissolved materials, that are all the essential minerals and salts that are required by the plant body. And again, the xylem tissue that are present throughout the plant body are responsible for the conduction of water and dissolved material from the roots up to the leaves of the plant. Let me see the diagram of internal structure of root. Here we can see that root here are responsible for the absorption of water and dissolved material from the soil. And once the water is absorbed by the here, it moves through the cortex, then endodermis, pericycle, and finally it enters into the xylem tissue of the root. Once in the xylem tissue of the root, then it is conducted throughout the plant body. But the question arises that how this uninterrupted conduction of water and dissolved material is maintained in plants, especially in hybrid plants. So it has been studied for many years, and the result of these studies is cohesion-tension theory. According to cohesion-tension theory, the pulling force that is responsible for the conduction of water and dissolved material from the xylem of roots up to the xylem of leaf is transpirational pull. As we know that transpiration is the loss of water or evaporation of water through the leaves of the plant, and I have discussed this process or phenomenon in the previous lecture. So let me discuss it again. This is the diagram of internal structure of leaf, and transpiration occurs through the stomata, that are specialized pores present in the upper epidermis of the leaf, like this. So let me repeat it again, how this transpirational pool is created. As we know that the mesophyll cells provide a large surface area for the transpiration of water. So mesophyll cells draw water from the xylem tissue of the leaf. Water enters into the mesophyll cells, and from the mesophyll cells, the water molecules form a water film. The water molecules move along the cell walls of the mesophyll cells, and finally these water molecules enter into the air spaces, and from the air spaces they diffuse out or they evaporate in the air through specialized openings that are called as stomata. In this way transpiration occurs. And as we know that the mainly transpiration is the stomatal transpiration. So after the transpiration, the water content of mesophyll cell has been decreased. So in order to increase its water content, mesophyll cell draws water from the xylem tissue. When the water is drawn from the xylem tissue, it creates a pressure difference between the xylem tissue of leaf and xylem tissue of stem. In return, the water moves upward from the xylem tissue of stem, and finally the xylem tissue of stem attains its water from the xylem tissue of root. In this way, a tension is created that moves from the leaves all the way to the roots, and this tension is called as transpirational pull. Due to this transpirational pull, a water column is created, and this water column is created from the xylem of the leaf up to the xylem of the roots. This transpirational pull is also responsible for the movement of water transversely from the root hair to the xylem tissue. I have discussed it already, that from the soil water enters into the root hair, and from the root hair it enters into cortex, then endodermis, then pericycle, and finally into the xylem of root. So this transpirational pool is responsible from the transverse movement of the water from root hair to the xylem tissue of the root, and also from the xylem tissue of root to the xylem tissue of leaf. The uninterrupted or continuous water column is created, the transpirational pool, and which is supported by the three factors. These three factors are, first factor is the narrow diameter of xylem tube. This is the narrow diameter of xylem tube. The second factor is the adhesion of water molecules with the walls of xylem tube, and the third factor is the cohesion of water molecules with each other. All these factors are responsible for creating a tension or a pull, and due to this tension or pull, the water column is formed, and this water column is continuous or uninterrupted from the xylem tissue of roots to the xylem tissue of leaves. This is how the water and the dissolved material are transported from the roots up to the leaves. These were certain points regarding the transport of water and dissolved material in plants. Hope this video will be informative for you. Please like and subscribe the video. Thank you so much.